Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy New Year. Merry, happy, and holiday time. We are back in 2026. It is unbelievable that 2025 just zipped on through. And that's a good thing. A new year bring in new stuff. And we want some new stuff. We want some new sports stuff. We want some fun and excitement. And we might just get it. You are listening to Panties and Sports. If you hadn't figured that out, it's NFL Week 18 and just a few games that mean anything other than next season. I've been there. I feel for you. I've been in the group that all you could look forward to was next season. And then you look at the next season and going, damn. Well, I'm Spitface. Please welcome Chicago and Miami fans. I'm Raider fans. I'm Spitface. Please welcome my host, the First Lady of Sports Talk. Happy New Year, First Lady.
Yes, Happy New Year's to everybody, and I hope everybody has a very blessed New Year's. And there's new beginnings, and new beginnings for some of these teams because, the NFL, it is new beginnings because we don't have the normal teams that are normally in the playoffs around this time. We got the Chiefs, not there. One of the Ravens may not be there. The Steelers, we don't know. But there's just been some, the Buccaneers may not be there. So we got a lot of change in the NFL. A lot of change.
And the Bills just barely made it in.
Yeah.
Well, I won't say barely because they but the Bills did not take the AFC East. That didn't happen. They on the road.
That's right.
So it's been
who thought the Patriots would win the AFC East from where they were last season? I mean, Robert Kraft fired the coach. He only been there for one season, and look what happened. Bravo got them in. Wow.
So it has been wild. And hey, I see the Funky Sports fan himself, Kevvy Kev, has joined us. And Kevvy Kev, we were just doing a brief comment on the wildness of Week 18 and who in and who ain't. Any words, sir?
Oh, first off, good morning, First Lady, and good morning to you.
Good morning, Kevvy Kev.
Yeah. It's been a wild. It's just been a wild season. I mean, even thinking back like on week 1, the very first game, Jalen Carter got thrown out of the game 15 seconds into the game for spitting on Dak Prescott. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, anything and everything has happened this season. It's just mind-boggling, right? So yeah, I've appreciated it, but it's been hard to get my hands wrapped around what's going to happen next.
And will the Eagles repeat? But that's a whole nother question. All right, but this week on Shout Out, we have performances from Ali. Will he find his shining star or get the cold feel of the mute button? I'm just thinking the brother's name is Ali. I don't know if I want to piss him off or not, but he might get the mute button if it ain't jamming. First Lady, we're ready. What you saying?
Each week, we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdie known as the Chargers wish they could fly far, far away from a loss to the Texans at SoFi Stadium. But alas, they lost. Is it time to ask if the Chargers are the AFC version of the Cowboys? Is this another season they limp into the playoffs with a ton of injuries, including the quarterback, and lose in the first round? How long of a leash does Harbaugh have before he will be given his walking papers if he doesn't turn things around for Justin? George Foreman, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, both rest in peace. Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Well, I know we've been down this road again when it comes to the Chargers. I mean, they just, for some reason, just can't win big games. They falter at the end of the season and they just limp into the playoffs. I think that's just what happens. Now, if you're going to say they're the AFC version of the Cowboys, I would definitely say they are. Because, again, there's so much expectations for the team. The team has talent. Both teams have much talented rosters. But for some reason, they just can't get it done because they underperform. They're inconsistent. I mean, that's always been the problem for the Chargers, and we know that's always been the problem for the Cowboys. They are just underperforming. And it's just, every year people pick them to win, but things just don't happen. Oh, the Chargers, they're a good team. They got that running game, and and Justin Herbert, he's looking to explode, right? No, it doesn't happen that way because something always goes wrong. For the Cowboys, we know Stephen A. Smith always said there's that black cat running in that stadium for the Cowboys. I don't know what's running in the stadium for the Chargers because they also have issues too. They just have bad luck. But, both franchises, they're highly touted all the time. Well, we know there's more buzz for the Cowboys because they are the American team. But, they always talk about the Chargers too. So things just does not get done for them. And they're limping into the Chargers are limping into the playoff because Justin, Herbert, he, fractured his non-throwing hand. That happened in, I guess it was week 13. So he's been playing with that fracture for 3 consecutive games. And, he hasn't looked great, to be honest with you. I don't blame him because he probably thinks he's going to hurt that arm again. But he really hasn't been that great. Except for, I think, one game he did show up. But, they just been plagued by injuries. Their starting tackles, Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt, both of them are out for the season. And they have other issues. Every week there's a long list of players on the injury report. So they just got a lot to deal with, they've already clinched a wild card spot. So they're going to be on the road for the first round. They either could be number 6 or the number 7 seed. And you know what, to be honest with you, given their situation, I just don't see the Chargers making any noise. I really don't. And so being that this is 2 consecutive years Harbaugh has been with this team, do we need to give him a long, how long is his leash? He got a long leash. I mean, this man has a 5-year contract. He ain't going nowhere. It's a 5-year contract worth $80 million. I don't think Harbaugh is going to anywhere. And, they believe in him. I mean, he's going to change. He's changing the culture there. And, it takes time. Some coaches, typically of his stature is given at least 4 years. But, if you're a young black coach, you only get 1 year. Sometimes you don't even get the whole darn full year. But you don't have to worry about Jim Harbaugh is going nowhere anytime soon. All right, Kevvy Kev, what do you think about this situation?
No, I think that you are laying it out that Harbaugh is going to have some more time. I think the challenge when you look at it, Harbaugh has been in the league since 2020. So basically he's been trying to compete against Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, even Burrows within that time. It's hard for me to think of any 4 quarterbacks in the NFC that are as talented as that in the NFC during that same time Dak Prescott was playing. So to me, the competition is just far greater in the AFC. And you were spot on talking about Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, even Michael Williams. Those injuries, those are hard for any team to overcome. I'm kind of actually surprised the Chargers made it to the playoffs, right? It would have been real easy for them to slip, slide, and to drop back. Now, again, they're not printing money in my house, Spitface, but they're printing money in the NFL. So it seems like $80 million seems like it'd be a lot of money, but I actually think that's chump change in that league. They're talking about playing some players, $50, $60 million. Just even thinking about the quarterback from Arizona, what he's going to be making potentially to sit down and not even play. They're thinking about paying him over $50 million, right? Tua. That's a cap hit of over $70 million, right? So I won't say it's monopoly money, but sometimes it feels like it's monopoly money they're playing with in the NFL. It's really challenging to think about like the passing of the guard, that we're not going to see Lamar, we're not going to see Mahomes, we're not going to, these are great quarterbacks, and they're all going to be home. This is truly a passing of the guard situation. To me, the question will be, what will the Chargers actually do in the playoffs? Are they going to be a one-and-done thing where they can't even muster a good game in the playoffs? If that starts happening, First Lady, then, yeah, we can start talking about, are they the Cowboys of the AFC? Of course, now, the owner of the Chargers is not as big a fool as Jerry Jones, right? Come on now. Hey. Right? That's a distinguishing factor, right? He is Mr. Entertainment, don't get me wrong, but he does some head-scratching things from time to time. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. All right, Spitface, what's your take on this?
Kevvy Kev was intimating that the owner of the Cowboys got some issues. and you know what? He's right. He got a whole bunch of issues. And talk about head scratching. I've seen so many Cowboy fans with, who have bald heads because their hair went on fire earlier in the season. So, the Chargers are not the AFC version of the Cowboys. The Cowboys stand alone. So no one shares. No one at all. But the Chargers are about the unluckiest team. I mean, really. They've had, I'll just say they've had good teams that in the playoffs could compete. And it seems like they always go in as wounded. They always go. Now, there's at this time of the season, all the teams, people got injuries and, teams have injuries and you have to compensate and all that other stuff. Well, there are teams that they started getting healthy as they're heading into the playoffs. And because they're starting to get healthy, it don't work that way for the Chargers. The Chargers begin, I really think that the Chargers management needs to reach out to Miss Cleo. Because I think somebody put a root on them. I think somebody put a root on them. And, but, I'm glad they're playing SoFi. There's a lot of money for SoFi. but they need to put in emergency phone calls, Miss Cleo. I got connections. That's all I'm saying, First Lady.
Oh, okay. When we talk about Jerry Jones, you would think that Jerry Jones is the richest owner in the league. I just happened to look this up. He's only the 7th richest NFL owner in the league. But you would think the way the media loves to portray Jerry Jones that he is the man. But anyway, yeah. Because I didn't know who the owner of the Chargers were. The Spaniels family is the owner, and they're very quiet. So they're not like what's his name? The mouth. Jerry Jones. He gets too involved in the franchises, so that's one thing you don't want to do. All right, but the Chargers, I will see. I think it's going to be a one and done season again in the playoffs. All right, Spitface, over to you.
A one and done situation. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon, listening to the bass go. Boom. Explosion. Overpowering. Over the competition, I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare. You better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that are all get sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. I'm going to knock you out, huh? Mama said knock you out, huh? We are talking about the knockout punch to the Steelers' chances of locking up the division after a loss to the Cleveland Browns. The Steelers are facing the Ravens on Sunday Night Football in a win or go fishing scenario. We wonder, who is under more pressure, the Steelers or Ravens? Is the winner of this game a pretender or a contender? The Texans will face either team in the wild card. Which team should they prefer to get? Leroy Saxon Page, Walter Buck Leonard, and James Cool Papa Bell are asking what you saying. I am, I was already through with the Steelers when they brought Aaron Rodgers on the team. Cause I ain't, that cheesehead, me and the Bears go back and I do not like Green Bay Packer players. Whether they're ex-players, they're out the League Hall of Fame, I still don't like it. That's just how that goes, Me and the Bears go deep, but that's a different situation. So they got Aaron Rodgers, who I don't know if he stabilized the team. I can't tell if it got better. The only thing I can tell with the Steelers is that they are great at not having a losing season. And I gotta hand it to them. They can do that. But whatever else they missing, they just need missing. And the Ravens, I am looking at that Harbaugh guy, and I'm wondering, is the thrill gone, baby? Has it gone away? You got the MVP quarterback. Just tools all over the place. And the best you can do is scrambling, and I do mean scrambling for the last, playoff spot, as winning the division. But I feel like I can't put you in the category of the NFC South. Y'all ain't playing that bad. But man, I ain't exactly, seeing too much. So, I'm looking at who's under more pressure, the Steelers or the Ravens. And, I go, it's a coin flip. Actually, in some ways, I'm going to say that the Ravens, the Steelers, we're not necessarily surprised with their level of mediocrity because they keep being a winning team. The Ravens, on the other hand, that window could be seriously closed. Seriously closed. So they got to get a spark into it. And not making the playoffs is not going to put a spark into it. Not making the playoffs, you're going to have some rumbling in the locker room. You're going to have sports media going crazy on every, Lamar Twitch. Is he happy with the rate? It's going to be bad. For the Steelers, the Steelers don't make it. We let them off the hook. The Steelers, they'll get past that. They go and they look, we had Aaron Rodgers, So, now, unfortunately, it's the winner of this game, which should be an interesting game, a pretender or contender. And I'm like, I don't see no contending coming out of either one. I just don't. I don't. And now the Texans will face either team in the wild card. Which team should they prefer to get? I'm going to actually say that they should prefer to get the Steelers. They should prefer to get the Steelers. I know that they got J.J. Watt's little brother playing defense, but I think the Texas defense would be all over Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron would be like, whoa, I don't know about coming back next season. So I'm going to go with that one. Kevvy Kev, what's the word?
Well, Spitface, when you were even talking about Rodgers there at the first, I almost went to go get you a cup of water. Man, you seem to be really struggling even saying discount double check Aaron Rodgers' name, right? he is a name that's not mentioned in Chicago, right? I think when I look at these two teams, it's really hard to say who's under more pressure, right? When DK Metcalf had the incident, as they like to say, right, with the fan, the Steelers made the indication that they're not going to void the $45 million due to him under his contract. That's $45 million they're saying on the line that, hey, we don't mind if DK acts a fool. We think we got enough on the field to make it to the playoffs and to make a long run. I think they might need to clean house. I mean, is this really the way you want your franchise to be run and operated? And then on the flip side, you've got Lamar, who's negotiating his own contract. And given where we are with quarterback salaries, some people are estimating he's going to be looking for a deal somewhere in the neighborhood of $70 million a year. Again, this ain't chump change now. This ain't chump change. You can buy some groceries with that kind of money. So to this extent, both teams have a lot on the line as it relates to where their fortune of their team is going to go. The Steelers, they don't win this game. They pay DK Metcalf again, and they're home for the playoffs. That's not a good look. The Ravens, they don't make it. They were one of the Super Bowl contenders. How are they what are they gonna do going forward? Are they not gonna sign Lamar? I mean, there's a lot of success, but no results. No Super Bowl championship trophies have been hoisted there with Lamar at the helm. So it's a tough one to say who's got more on the line. I will say this: I like actually the Ravens to win, and only because they discovered, hey, King Henry, he's pretty good at running the ball. That's what they found out in Green Bay. I mean, I don't know how much film, but, he's pretty good, right? He was doing
They need to tell that's the coordinator.
Yeah, I'm old school. He kind of looked like Jim Brown out there. He was knocking people over left and right. Nobody wanted any part of him. So my guess is that the Ravens are going to win this game. They're ultimately going to run it down the Steelers' throat. And when you look at the tape concerning Rodgers, he didn't throw the ball to anybody more than 10 yards down the field. His big threat is Scanlon. So, I mean, the guy the Chiefs cut in the wide receivers room, that's their biggest threat? No. Marquise can't be your biggest threat if you are a team contending for the Super Bowl. Now, you definitely are a pretender at that point. So that's what I got for you, Spitface. First Lady, what are you thinking? What do you think?
Well, To be honest, I think both of them are under more pressure to win, to be honest with you. But if I have to make a choice, I'm going to say the Steelers, number one, they had a chance to win this division the week before, but they came up with a stinker against the Browns. They flopped against the Browns. And the fact that, like you said, DK Metcalf was his situation, he wasn't there. The Steelers, again, they show no fight, no desire to win big games. And they really needed to win that game because you don't want to come down to a game against the Ravens. And we don't know if Lamar is going to play or not. But, you know, both teams have been basically unhealthy this season. But, you know, when I have to give the Ravens a pass because Lamar missed 4 games and Aaron Rodgers, you know, he broke his wrist on his non-throwing arm, but he only missed 1 game. So to me, with Lamar missing those games, it was a big deal for the Ravens. And the Ravens, you know, that 4 games is significant. So I really think the fact
but First Lady Aaron Rodgers playing for 8 games was like Lamar being out for 4.
Well, I mean, yeah, well, I just think the Steelers had Aaron Rodgers, and he didn't do it. Matter of fact, you know, if the Steelers win this game Sunday, do you know they will have the exact same record they had last year? So putting Aaron Rodgers, was he an upgrade over Justin Fields and Russell Wilson? No, he wasn't. They will have the exact same record from last year. So again, the Steelers still need a darn quarterback. That's the Steelers' problem. They need a quarterback. So when I look at I think the Texans would prefer to play the Steelers, definitely, because they just got an inept offense. They got an inept offense, and when it comes down to defenses, the Texans' defense is much better than the Pittsburgh Steelers' defense. I mean, the Ravens' defense is not there, but I would be afraid of the Ravens' offense, especially if Lamar plays, because you got Lamar and you have, like Kevvy Kev said, you have Derrick Henry. Those two can take over a game. They can dominate a game. So if I'm the Texans, I would be more afraid of that than the Steelers' defense, because you got to get a defense yourself. So now it's definitely the Steelers would. If I'm the Texans, I would prefer the Steelers. Now, if the Ravens win, are they pretenders or contenders? If Lamar is playing, I still think the Ravens can be contenders because of that offense. You know, if they can get some good play out of the defense, then yeah, I mean, on any given Sunday, they could beat a team in the playoffs with Lamar and Derrick Henry. So, I mean, that's just the whole situation, is whether or not Lamar can come back. But he has a strained back, so I don't know if it's going to happen. And I'm sorry, I don't know if they can win with their backup. They've been winning with their backup quarterback. What's that, Huntley? But no, I still think they need to have Lamar to be a serious contender. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Both of these teams have way underperformed, right? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Rodgers, he made that comment, you know, hey, there'll be a lot of people interested in me. I know I'm a free agent, and it's like, wait a minute now, man. I don't know what you
need to go to old folks home for retirement. He needs to give it up.
Right. You better hope that the Steelers give you an opportunity to come back if you really want to play. But I'm with you, First Lady. There's no way that you can go into the season next year thinking of all the talent that's in the AFC and really think Rodgers is going to rise to the top of all those quarterbacks. There's no way. You might have to sell your team. They might have to take you in for some serious, you know, cognitive tests if that's what you really believe, if you're the owner of the Steelers, right?
You said intervention might be required.
Yeah, there'll be some eyebrows raised and some questions that will need to be answered if that's what you really are thinking, saying that out loud. You got to really think that somehow your defense or something else is going to be able to pick up the slack. And their defense is old. in Pittsburgh, right? I love me some Mike Tomlin. I think Tomlin is underrated for getting the most out of average to middling players. But getting the most out of average and middling players does not win you by itself, does not win a Super Bowl. You still have to have those dudes on your team to win a Super Bowl. And the fact that you've got the other guys not making mistakes when the dudes are playing well, or they're playing kind of average to kind of keep you in games, that's what you really need. And that's what Tomlin has done. And that's why he's always had a team that's won more games than not. But now if you're talking about rising to a level of excellence, you can't see any NFL team win 3 games in the playoffs or 2 games and a Super Bowl if they don't have some dudes on their team. And when you look at the Steelers, who really strikes fear in anybody in the NFL on their roster? Come on now. No one. No one. Period.
I mean, that's not on Tomlin. That's on the GM, Omar Khan. I mean, he's going to put the team together. So.
Now you're speaking some truth there, First Lady. You're speaking some truth there. Who is the GM for the Steelers, right? Yeah. Why are you guaranteeing DK Metcalf $45 million? Well, come on now. There needs to be an investigation. We need to be asking some questions.
We will impanel the committee, but since we got the commissioner who flew in on his bearskin rug naked, DizzieMac. Dizzy, do you think that the Steelers would have been better off getting Phillip Rivers instead of Aaron Rodgers? Spit on him. Phillip Rivers or Aaron Rodgers?
I agree with First Lady. You know, keep either Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. You know, keep one of them two. But
I didn't say, look, DizzieMac, I did not say that. I just said that they just got the same record, so Aaron Rodgers was not an upgrade.
But they were eligible too to be given a chance, like they gave Aaron Rodgers. But they were so sold on what he did to Chicago all them years. You know, he bought a lot of put it like this. He bought a lot of sorrow to the NFL season here in Chicago. He made people cry, grown men cry. But you know, it all you got to do is get a ball to King Henry and tackle on defense and keep everything in front of you and tackle and do the things that, hey, the Ravens have been doing. And, you know, you get a chance to play the Houston Texans. And, you know, DK Metcalf is just, you know, you're going to go out of the injury tent, out the back door, and get out there and get into a situation with a fan and cost yourself and your team millions. Who does that? Who does that? But now we see what they were talking about. Showing up to the team meetings, eating the Philly cheesesteak, going to sleep.
Didn't bring nobody else through the air.
Yeah, you know, not sharing with nobody, just going in there, bringing your blanket and your pillow, looking at Aaron Rodgers like he was Geno Smith, and then you know. Pittsburgh, come on now. Where you're the second piece on a person's mantle place, Shadur Sanders. Of course, I'll say it. He got my Raiders. That's the first scalp. And then he got a Pittsburgh Steelers scalp on his mantle place because, you know, you that doesn't say much. But, hey, get a ball to King Henry, tackle, and stay away from the turnover, And, what's my man name down in Houston? Spitface, the coach.
Nico.
Yeah,
Is it Nico?
DeMarco.
The coach?
Nico. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, DeMarco Ryan. Yeah, DeMarco Ryan. Yeah, he said, hey, I could put up a 9-man front to stop King Henry. So, he's itching. He's itching to want to be able to prove that his defense is elite. So, hey, let the games begin.
All right. On that note, First Lady, you have the final word. Please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Up next, we have a performance from I Ali on Shout Out Part 1.
Free Mr. Vaughn.
The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from I Ali.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. We are featuring music from I Ali and his hit album, I Ali. They say I Ali's love of music came from listening to Motown artists, and his style of music is similar to the R&B styles of the 70s and the 80s. All right, DJ, I love the 70s, 80s music, so let's hear How Do I Stop the Rain? Okay, that is Ali. How do I stop the rain? So I'm going to start this off. Now, when you sing in a monotone, you know what that means? Sing in one pitch. And usually it means, I had to look, monotone is just boring and it's flat. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to give it thumbs down because he's not no Drake. Monotone, but he didn't even have it. It was just one flat beat the whole way through. I'm sorry, Ali. I have to hit the mute button on you. All right, I'm gonna start with you, Spitface. You give it a thumbs up, or you hitting the mute button?
I'm running to the mute button. I'm tap dancing on the mute button. What the hell was that track all about? How do I stop the rain? I'm going, how do I stop the pain of listening to that track? What were you doing? I hope that this is a youngster and this was like his first experiment, in the music world and everything. Because he showed no love from the Motown artists. There was no Motown artist, R&B, 70s, 80s style. He gave them no love. So instead of how do I stop the rain, it should be I'm tired of the pain. I got to go get some tissue, clear out my ears.
Okay. Kevvy Kev, who do you have? Thumbs up or thumbs down? I mean, shout out or thumbs up.
Yeah, I had to. I appreciate you giving me an opportunity. I've had some trouble sleeping lately, so this was nice to be able to get a little snooze in. But no, you can't. I'm also like Spitface. I'm hoping this is the beginning, right? And you go back to the drawing board and maybe come up with something stronger. But I'm hoping this is not the peak, because if it's the peak, it's probably time to be looking for a career, right? So.
All right, DizzieMac, what is your verdict? Shout out or mute button?
Well, I'm gonna meet all y'all at the mute button and take my turn of pressing or tap dancing on the mute button, because sipping on that scissor will put you down. And it sounded like he was straight down. So, no, mute button all the way on that one.
All right. So I think it's unanimous. Mute button for Mr. Ali on this particular track. Now, on part two of Shout Out, we will be featuring another performance from Ali. So hopefully he can redeem himself. Now, we don't have to worry about muting this fella. Is that the sound of our favorite underwater friend? Is it time for Flip It?
No one is free. It's wider than two. And we live in a world full of wonder, lying there under the sea.
Well, happy New Year to you too, Flipper. Flipper's all happy and stuff. He's at Flipper say he couldn't wait for 2026. He heard that it was gonna be tuna for everybody. So Flipper is ready to go. But let's see here. Time for Flipper, while hosts defend the view and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. The 49ers will face either Tampa Bay or the Panthers in the wild card round. Who should they hope to play? Defend. They should hope to play the Panthers. All right. Well, it's sort of like the 49ers are one of those teams who, if they had been in any other division, they probably would have won the division. But they were in that rough and tough and tumble NFC West. And right now, the 49ers, who just beat up on my Bears, but you know, it was a battle. We had a shot, but the 49ers triumphed. They came up, you know, with the win, with the victory, and they kind of look like they on a little bit of a roll. So for them, they're looking at a Panthers team that they don't know what the hell they doing. They just playing. They just out there. They in that weak South Division, and somehow, some way, in a division that just frankly ain't all that good, where teams, you know, win the division but lose the record, and it's like, hey, you know, we can jump on these boys. So I think the 49ers would just steamroll the Panthers. So while they'd had to put up a much deeper battle with them Buccaneers. So they should want to have to play the Panthers. And Kevvy Kev defends, the 49ers should hope to play the Panthers.
Defend the 49ers should hope to play the Panthers. Well, the Panthers are up and down, so their season is really like this. If they win a game, then you know the next game they're going to lose, right? They've not put together a streak of any winning during this entire season. So the fact of the matter is that if they if they win their last game and beat the Buccaneers to make it to the playoffs, the 49ers are almost guaranteed that the Panthers are going to lay down an egg in the next game. They've done it every game, every other game this season. So that to me would suggest why you want the Panthers to be there. It's a green team, right? They inexperienced. Bryce has played better. I'm not going to say that Bryce has not played better. He has played better this season. But this team can't put together two good games in a row. That's just an immature team. That's what the Panthers are. So that's why you want to play the Panthers. What do you think?
All right.
But DizzieMac, what do you think? You want the Panthers or you want the Buccaneers?
Well, the Panthers, you know, would be my choice because they do not have any chance of getting past the 49ers after getting past Tampa Bay. Like you said, Kevvy Kev, the winning streak stops at 1 usually, and Bryce Young is just not tall enough to meet the challenge of 6'5", 6'5", 6'6", 6'6". You know, he just will wilt under pressure. And the 49ers are at home. So no, they're hoping they can feast on the Panthers and Bryce Young. They'll do a better job.
All right. Okay, the 49ers are on the road because they're wild because they didn't win the division. But First Lady defends Panthers with no playoff experience. That's who the 49ers should be hoping to play against.
Well, that says it all. They don't have it. Their coach, Dave Canales, he doesn't have experience coaching in a playoff game other than as an assistant. I think when he was with the 49ers, I have to double check that. But, yeah, I mean, this team, the Panthers, they're young, they're inexperienced, and they're inconsistent, as Kevvy Kev said. They're very inconsistent. And let's look at this. The 49ers already played the Panthers in Week 12. They dominated them. They won 20-9. And when they played the Buccaneers, they lost 30-19. Now, that was early in the season, and we know the Buccaneers are a little bit struggling, but still, the Buccaneers, they have a championship the NFC South. They've been the champion for I don't even know how many straight years now, and they have the DNA to be a tough opponent for the 49ers. So, I mean, if the 49ers really want to get to win that game, they definitely need to play the Panthers, because what does the Panthers have to offer? Yeah, Bryce Young has been playing a lot better, but with that 49ers defense, I think they can stunt Bryce Young. Like you said, DizzieMac, he's very short. So he's always going to have issues. And if that front line for the 49ers, they can definitely stop Bryce Young. He probably couldn't even throw the ball over them. But the thing is, it's the Panthers definitely, because they've never been in it. You know, they're inexperienced, and historically, we're talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're a much better team when it comes to winning big games like that. So definitely the Panthers.
All right. You know, this is flipped it. Well, we have to flip the script and defend the opposing you. So what we're going to flip to is the 49ers should hope to play the Buccaneers. All right. To defend. They do not want to play them Panthers. They want to play the Buccaneers. And, you know, one thing, when you have a team like the Panthers, they are what you call erratic. Now, and sometimes that can be symptomatic, but they are erratic. But they're erratic in a way where, you know, one game they can get it together. The next game they slip slide and, you know, doing their James Brown imitation and going across the floor and losing. So, you could kind of lock them into a pattern where, okay, hey, look, this is your pattern. Every other game you're going to lose. And so if you win and, you end up getting that home playoff game as the division, winner, you're going to be facing the 49ers. Now, by the pattern, you should lose, but by your erratic nature, this is an opportunity for Shorty. You know who Shorty is, to stand tall like a Drew Brees or a Russell Wilson. Now, I'm not saying Shorty is a Drew Brees or a Russell Wilson, but everybody can have that day. And it's easy to see that the 49ers could come in there prepared to play the Panthers, but get in that Panther team that can put it together. Now, the Buccaneers kind of weird. They should be dominant in the NFC South. They should be dominant. But there's just something about their behavior that's erratic. And part of that behavior is, you know, Baker Mayfield, he's been dealing with injuries and, you know, but something off with my man Baker. And he's getting frustrated. And right now, a frustrated, injured Baker Mayfield, the 49ers are just licking they chops. They just licking. Because they're going, hey, with Baker at full strength, oh yeah, it'll be a game. But with Baker frustrated, injured here, this just ain't their season. They're going to steamroll them. DizzieMac defends. The 49ers should hope they get to play the Buccaneers.
They should hope they play the Buccaneers because they get a chance to put their defense on display. They'll be able to look and say, hey, we can beat any style, even the crazy style of the Buccaneers. They get a chance to plant Baker Mayfield at the 50-yard line. You know, they have a chance to show what the rest of the NFC will have to worry about, which is defense, being able to make sure that they are tuned up, ready to go, wherever they have to go. But yes, they want to play Tampa Bay because, again, it gives them a chance to shut down a Wild West type team, even though they're in Florida with First Lady. But they just, don't have the goods to deal with Carolina because Bryce Young can come out of a bag. You never know what he is able to do. He'll put up 100-yard passing day, or he may have 400 yards. So, yeah, Tampa Bay is the better option for the 49ers to play. And that's all my cousin, Cam Wilson, who's a 49er fan. She'll be wearing her 33 jersey, San Francisco, Roger Craig throwback.
Dizzy, you're exactly right. That's the team that they want to play. The Buccaneers, I mean, it's horrendous. I mean, when you look at their last 8 games that they played the Patriots, the Bills, and the Rams, 3 playoff teams. Lost all of those games. Patriots put up 28, Bills put up 44, Rams put up 34. So you just look at it. If they play a playoff caliber team, you got to assume that team is going to score more than 30. Then who did the Buccaneers play after that? They played the Cardinals, which they won 20-17, and then they proceeded to lose to the Saints, the Falcons, the Panthers, and the vaunted Miami Dolphins. Come on now. This team is on E. I don't even know. I'm not sure they even make it to the finish line against the Panthers, let alone if for some miraculous way that they back into the playoffs, right? There's no way that they are going to be a match for a guy who did something neither Joe Montana did nor Steve Young did, and that is throw for 5 touchdowns on 2 consecutive weekends. Hey, if the Buccaneers have to play the 49ers, you better call the MASH unit because they're going to put a whooping on them. It's going to be ugly.
All right, Kevvy Kev, First Lady. Defend.
Well, Kevvy can't say it all. I mean, the 49ers want to play the Buccaneers because of recent and historical performances. As Kevvy can't say, the Buccaneers have lost 8 out of their last 10 games, including their last 4 in a row. He's just broken down the teams. But that says it all. They've lost 8 out of their last 10 games and 4 in a row. So that team is not good. They're falling apart, and that's a losing team. And historically, the head-to-head competition, the 49ers have done better against the Buccaneers than they have with the Panthers, believe it or not. When it comes to all-time series, they have a 21-7 record in regular season and playoffs against the Buccaneers, and against the Panthers, the all-time series is definitely closer. It's 13-10. Now, I'm quite sure most of those were with Cam Newton as the Panthers, but anyway, it doesn't matter. We look at historical numbers. And that's the thing. I mean, the Buccaneers really, the issue really is what's going on with the Buccaneers right now. And they are struggling. So I'm like you, Kevvy Kev. I just don't see the 49ers losing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. So definitely they would prefer to play the Buccaneers.
Struggling.
All right. First Lady, over to you for more flips.
The Bills are in the playoffs after losing to the Eagles 13-12. Baseball score. We wonder, are they contenders or pretenders? All right, let's defend. The Bills are pretenders. I'm going to go with you, Kevvy Kev.
All right, so the Bills are contenders because they don't have anybody like DizzieMac that can put a lick on somebody trying to run across the line. Their defense.
Well, they're pretenders, not contenders. Kevvy Kev, this time around, they're pretenders.
Yeah, they're pretenders because they can't stop anybody on D.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they can't stop anybody on D. Their defense is too terrible. Everybody can run the ball down their throat. It's simple. Defense wins championships.
Yeah, everybody.
They don't have a defense. They don't have a defense.
All right. That was short and sweet.
Well,
they don't have a defense.
They don't have it. Right. Well, let me say one other thing. They would be attempting to do something that's really hard in the NFL, and that is to win 3 road games before getting to the Super Bowl. And you know what? Josh Allen has never won on the road. So it's really hard to do it, and they have no history of being able to crank out wins on the road. So now they're pretenders at this point.
Okay. All right, DizzieMac. Bills are pretenders.
They are pretenders. Because, like Kevvy Kev said, they cannot stop anyone. They cannot stop, the old lady going to the grocery market, pushing a cart. They depend on Josh Allen, and Josh Allen is just a wild boy. And you know what they do to wild boys? They put them in concussion protocol. He'll be in the tent wondering, what hit me? Because they going to put a lick on him every time he runs the ball. It may not be this week. It may be next week. It could be this Sunday. But they have no receiving corps. They don't even have a blow-up dial that could get open. And you let the air out of it. They say they will not go far because Josh Allen will be looking up at the light saying, did you put up 2 fingers? No, we didn't put up no fingers, son. You should take his helmet. He's not playing no more. And they cannot stop anyone because once you see opposing teams running deep, running across the field, they are just, hard-pressed to win at most 1 game on the road, if they even get a chance to get there, because it's just not going to be their year. They're just going to be crying in their clam chowders and, hot wings, buffalo hot wings. They're going to be crying. So, no, First Lady, they're pretenders.
They're pretenders. All right, Spitface. Are the Bills pretenders?
Now, since I'm not concerned about Bills Mafia knocking at the door, I'm going to have to let them know, your Bills are pretenders. And they've been pretenders for a long while. They really have, because they have been, quote, the team that was built to upset the Kansas City Chiefs. They hold each season was like, well, we adding this player, we adding that player so that we can get depth here, depth there. Because the big thing is we got to beat them Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. That's the way the pair for, if we are the team that can do that, we got our Super Bowl. That's just how it is rolling. And what it looks like is these pretenders, the Bills, are about to pretend themselves to a playoff loss, probably against the Patriots, since they will be on the road. but they've been pretending for a long time, like they were the heir apparent to Kansas City. And what have we seen? It not happen. Bills fans being disappointed. So it's time to unmask them as the pretenders that they are. That's all I'm saying, per se.
Unmask them. Yeah, I mean, all of us kind of hit it on the head. Their defense is the problem. More specifically, they can't stop the run. I mean, they are 30th, 31st in run defense for basically the whole season. And they rely too much on Josh Allen being Superman. He can't be Superman all the time. So even though sometimes they play well on offense, they don't always play well on. They're very inconsistent on their offense also. It's not just the defense. They sometimes struggle to score. I mean, when you look at their receiving core, I mean, you got Brandon Cooks. He's probably pretty much washed up. Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, who's it? Meckley Hartman Jr. I mean, are people scared of them? Are defense and the secondary scared of these receivers? No, they're not. So that's some of the problems. And they have their offensive coordinator. He's not that great. He's done a lot of poor play calling and puts, to me, relying too much on Josh Hart. And the Bills, again, they are pretenders. You would think that they could do something this year, but they haven't done anything this year. They barely made it to the playoffs. They just need to get some more playmakers. I mean, they got rid of Stephon Diggs. I guess he left or whatever. But, their offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, really hasn't done a great job. I mean, I guess he's working with what he has, and he doesn't have that much. But they just don't have the weapons to really provide a offensive firepower. And when you don't have the weapons to do offensive firepower, and the fact that you have a bad defense, you are a pretender. All right, let's flip this. The Bills are tough, and they have Superman. They are contenders. All right, Spitface, they are contenders.
Hey, sometimes Clark Kent got to put them glasses down and grab his cape and fly on out there. And that is what Josh Allen is capable of doing, is throwing on the cape and leading Bills Mafia to victory. If we look at it, they aren't a pretender with an 11-5 record that might be 12-5 at the end of the season. You win 11 or 12 games, you are not a pretender. You are a contender with what you got. And they may not be, quote, super team, but they got Superman. And that's sometimes all you need. And, I look back, way back when the quarterbacks, whatever, they had the helmet where they had the one little bar, like the field goal kickers, back when it was tough, But I look back to Jim Plunkett and the Raiders. That Raiders team was all discombobulated, but they got to the playoffs. And all of a sudden he became Superman. And all of a sudden the defense got better. Things started clicking. And, the Bills needed some commotion, cause they were predicted to, they're going to just blow everything up, and everything got blown up. But with everything being blown up, they still are looking at 11-5 or a 12-5 record. And as the big tuna always said, your record says who you are. Their record says this is a contender. And if you mess around and think that they're gonna be, easy out, but we'll see you on the picks. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
All right, we think they're easy out. All right, DizzieMac, the Bills are contenders. They got Superman?
They're contenders based off of what Superman can do. 4th and 2, who you going to give it to? Josh Allen. Tush push, you know, he's long enough and strong enough to get in between in the holes. 3rd and 9, he's able to take it to, you know, get the first down. You know, he's able to fit tight throws in a very tight window. You know, they're able to be opportunistic on defense and cause turnovers. You know, you have to be very accurate to be able to, you know, avoid the turnovers. You know, so they can bend but not break. So I think that's the main thing that makes them contenders, First Lady. What you think, Kevvy Kev?
Yeah, there's no doubt that when you look across the field, if you're standing on the sideline with the Bills and you don't see Patrick Mahomes, you don't see Lamar Alexander, right? You don't see Joe Burrow, you got to think that your quarterback is better than anybody else that you're going to play. And I'm going to say it. I think everybody else knows it too, that the best quarterback that's standing and remaining, apologies to Mr. May, is Josh Allen. He is the best quarterback in the AFC that's still remaining. And by the way, even after spotting him 21 points, what did the Bills do? Superman put on his cape and then beat him in the second half. So don't think that young team in New England is so self-assured, so cocky that they know that they're going to have the Bills. Oh, no. They're looking over at that sideline, and they're seeing Josh Allen on that other side, and that's putting a little fear into their heart. The other thing on this is it's not just Superman. They also got Batman. Batman is James Cook. 1,606 yards, 12 touchdowns on the season, averaging 5.2 yards every time he touches the rock. So, yeah, the Bills got no defense, but they do have a running game. And if they can just manage to kind of patch it together, I think Spitface is right. You can harken back to those Raiders with Jim Plunkett, right? Another wild card team that somehow just managed to put together a couple of games just at the right time to win a Super Bowl. The Bills can take a look back to 2023 with Kansas City. Kansas City fell to 9-6. And then in 2023, they rallied and then continued to go on to win the Super Bowl. They weren't a team that won more than 13, 14 games. They weren't a juggernaut that year. They had to patch it together. The Bills can do it. Time to circle the wagons.
All right. You say time to circle the wagon. So, let's look at the Bills. The Bills for 5 consecutive seasons, from 2020 to 2024, they were always the AFC East division winner. But guess what? This year, they're not. So what does that mean? To me, that means that they've always been the favorite to win, and there was a lot of pressure on them. This time, they're coming in as the wild card team. So as Kevvy Kev said, they have to win, 3 consecutive road games in order to get to the Super Bowl. So can it be done? Yes, it can be done. Teams have won the Super Bowl as the wild card. I think the last team to win it was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2020. But I think Josh Allen, again, he is the reason why they're in the situation they're in, because he's been at an MVP caliber level type of quarterback. And Kevvy Kev alluded to, they do got a rushing attack. Even though that offense may be void of playmakers as far as receivers, they do have James Cook, and he has been phenomenal running the ball. So has Josh Allen. So their rushing attack is their number one offensive weapon. And, they have a tendency to be very dominant late in the season. So they've been winning, even though they did lose that game to the Eagles. But the Bills, they have what it takes from a person like Josh Allen to be Superman. And I think because of the fact that they're not really the favorite, I think sometimes when you are the favorite comes a lot of tension and a lot of pressure. And as you said, everybody's saying they don't have Patrick Mahomes. They may not have Lamar. And those were always his Achilles heel to get through to a Super Bowl. They're not here this year, possibly. And so Josh Allen definitely has the opportunity to be in the Super Bowl. So, yes, when you have Josh Allen as Superman, they are contenders. The Bills are contenders. All right, Spitface, please take us to break.
Okay, on the other side of the break, we have another performance from Ali. And we're hoping that it's a better performance than that last one. I mean, on Shout Out Part 2. Please keep your ears glued to those speakers.
Welcome back. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout-out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
All right. On the second part of shout-out, we are featuring another track from Ali. And it looks like, let's see, we got DizzieMac here. It looks like Kevvy Kev. I don't know, Kevvy Kev might have ran away. Let me go have to step it up. We're going to see what's going to happen. But we're going to hear another track from him, and it's called Death by 1,000 Cuts. DJ, roll it.
damn veins. So many damn veins. So many damn veins. So many damn veins.
All right, that was Death by 1,000 Cuts. And yeah, I felt like I was being cut 1,000 times. I am hitting the mute button, and I'm just going, Ali, maybe you need to, change your name to, I wish I knew Ali. Cause your tracks was there was no knockout punch in those tracks, and, I don't know what it reminded me of a soundtrack for a bad horror movie. So I'm hitting the mute button. DizzieMac, what's the verdict?
You know what? I'm trying to be objective. Roddy B, First Lady, Kevvy Kev. I'm trying to be objective. This would go good in a hookah lounge, probably over in Germany. You could fit this music at a hookah lounge, but here in the United States, it's getting the mute button.
I've never been to a hookah lounge in Germany. I might have to check it out. First lady, what's the verdict?
Well, I'm going to give him a little credit, give him some positivity. It was better than the first song. I think I like this one. I like this one better than the first song. I actually like the beat of the song. However, I'm still going to give it a mute button because it's just his lyrics and singing. I didn't like it.
You're going to have to work on it, Ali.
I got to. He ain't got me all choked up.
Well, that is the end of the shout out. Now you can check out Ali on the Old Grumpy Radio Network and make your own verdict. If you'd like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to talent@oldgrumpyradio.com. Don't be sending them to some other email address because we won't get them. First Lady, over to you.
Okay, so it's time for the last week of the regular season, NFL picks, week 18. Well, our production assistants, they did get some of the results. We have the results through week 15, so we only got 3 more weeks to get the rest of the results. Now, I'm not going to go over, because it's been a while, all the different weeks. We can do that next week because we're, a little bit short for time now. But as of through week 15, the standings are as such. Now, DizzieMac had a big lead, but he had some rough weeks the last couple of weeks. I mean, we've all been having rough weeks, but DizzieMac, well, let me do it this way. The guests, like Christian, you remember we had Christian on the show? He had a good week because he got 4 million points. Even Kevvy Kev, for his first week, he had 1 million points. So, DizzieMac, you were at a minus 250,000 points. You were at one time, you had like 8 or 9 million points, and you just went, you were doing all that. It just went downhill. I'm at negative 1.275 million points. Especially the last 2 weeks, I think the last week you really bombed up, man. You had minus 11.275 million points. So we got some work to do. But we got some heavy points coming up now because we're in week 18. So it's anybody's game. So we got to go to our Saturday mix worth 10 million points. We have the Panthers versus the Buccaneers. Man, oh, man. Ugh. Who am I going to pick? I'm going to pick the Panthers. I'm just going to go for it and pick the Panthers. I just think right now, the Buccaneers are just not good right now. And if they can get out of it, they're just not good. So I'm going with the Panthers. DizzieMac, who do you have? DizzieMac? I guess DizzieMac didn't drop off.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers for my guy, the patio player. He's a Buccaneers fan, and we're going to be in the 1979 throwback Buccaneer jerseys on the bearskin rug.
Okay. Spitface, who do you have?
I'm going with them Panthers.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is Kevvy Kev back on?
Nah, Kevvy Kev, I at least scared him away.
Let's move on. The Seahawks versus the 49ers. Isn't this for the who's? Well, yeah, isn't this for the division, the top seed? I believe it is. But anyway, DizzieMac, who do you have?
I'm going with the Seahawks, the Legion of Whom.
All right, Spitface, who do you have?
I'm rolling with the 49ers.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go. The last time Sam Darnold had a chance to do something big, he was with the Vikings, and he didn't do it. Oh, my goodness gracious me. I'm going to go with the Seahawks. A part of me want to go with the 49ers, but I'm going to go with the Seahawks. All right. Sunday winners and losers, these are worth 5 million points. The Browns versus the Bengals. Spitface, who do you have?
Oh man, this is a toughie. I'm going the Browns just whipped up on the Steelers. Well, they didn't really whip up all of that, but the Steelers just fell apart. I'm going to go with the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bengals. I think this may be Joe Burrow's last hurrah, so I'm going to go with the Bengals. DizzieMac, who do you have?
I'm going to go with the Browns. Watch Myles Garrett and Shadir Sanders work.
Okay. Packers versus the Vikings. Woo! I'm going to go with the Packers. Packers need to do something significant. They need a win. Is Jordan Love playing? Was he in concussion protocol or something? I can't remember, but I'm going to go with the Packers.
I think they cleared him.
I think they cleared.
They cleared. Okay. All right. DizzieMac, who are you going with?
I'm going to go with Minnesota.
The Vikings. All right. Big Face?
Vikings.
Oh, I'm on an island by myself with them Packers. Nobody can care. All right. Lions versus the Bears. Oh, my. Oh, my. Spitface, who do you have?
The Bears.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bears. Lions don't have anything to play for. They ain't going to play nobody. All right, DizzieMac, who do you have?
I'm going to go with them Bears.
All right. Chargers versus the Broncos. All right. I'm going to play, from my understanding, I think the Chargers are going to rest people, so I'm going to go with the Broncos because they're trying to get the division, the number one seed. DizzieMac, who do you have?
The Chargers.
Oh, you going with them both.
All right. Spitface?
But see, I think, the Broncos, may be playing for the number one seed.
They are.
Because, along with the Patriots. So the Broncos got something to play for. I'm going with them Broncos. Yeah,
they already said the Chargers are Western people. Okay. The big game, Ravens versus the Steelers. This is worth 25 million points. Woo. Better pick this one right. All right, DizzieMac, you first up. Who do you have, Ravens or Steelers?
Ravens. King Henry.
And they're playing in Pittsburgh? I thought they're playing in Pittsburgh?
I'm pretty sure they're playing in Pittsburgh.
Okay. All right, Spitface, who do you have?
Yeah, they're playing in Pittsburgh. I got to roll with King Henry.
You got to roll with who?
King Henry.
Are you going with the Ravens? Well, I guess I'm another one on the island by myself. I am going to go with the Steelers because they bet to win. I don't know if Lamar is really playing. I think, I'm going to roll with the Steelers. They're going to have to try to muster up something to win this game. All right. So that's it. We'll see how we will do. All right. What is your top story to watch this week? All right, Spitface, what's your top story to watch?
Which coaches get the axe on Monday?
Yes, indeed.
In the NFL.
They call it, it's Black Friday, right? They call it the NFL Black Friday, right? Something like that, where they get their coach. Yeah. There's probably going to be a few of them. DizzieMac, what's your top story to watch?
The top story to watch this week is going to be the college football playoffs. See who is going to, find their way going home.
Okay. Well, my top story to watch is that Ravens-Steelers game, because the loser of that game, we're going to be on alert watch to see what happened to one of their coaches. If the Steelers lose, is Mike Tomlin and his owner going to come to a mutual agreement to separate? Or if the Steelers win, is John Harbaugh on his way out, especially all these reports about he's not getting along with Lamar. So a lot is riding on that game, and that's what I'm going to be watching. All right, check out our current and previous episodes at Panties and Sports.com. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk, Spitface and DizzieMac, and Kevvy Kev. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. Happy New Year's again, and see you next week.
Happy New Year!